Good afternoon. I'm Bob Stoolmaker, and I'm on the faculty of CASDA, and I want to welcome you to this afternoon's webinar titled Accommodating Transgender Students and Staff, What You Need to Know. In this day and age, it's imperative for teachers and administrators to create equitable, safe, and supportive learning environments for transgender students. This webinar will feature relevant legal information and actual experiences of transgender individuals. I'm happy and thrilled to welcome Beth Barassa. Beth is an attorney from Whiteman, Osterman and Hanna, and Thomas Fitzpatrick, transgender individual and advocate.
Point really quickly again. If you have any questions, please ask away. Use the chat function, and please hit the drop-down menu that says "Send to everyone," so everybody can see the questions being asked. That way, we'll make sure that redundant questions don't get asked and typed through. Okay, great.
I first would like to start by introducing Thomas Fitzpatrick. Welcome, Thomas.
Thank you, Bob. I did prepare a little something in essay format.
I wanted to share with you guys 3 books that I have found extremely important over the past 3 to 5 years about good social studies practices. The first one I want to share with is Jeffrey Noakes. Jeffrey Noakes' work comes out of the Stanford History Education Group, and he talks about building students' historical literacy by looking at and utilizing all types of documents and all types of sources. So not just written materials, but artifacts, films, political cartoons, and other materials. And he spends a chapter within the book examining in detail how historians and students can interrogate these different sources to make arguments and to create an argument based not only out of fact, but out of well-rationed theory. It's a little expensive. It's $40 a pop at Rutledge, but I strongly urge you to borrow it from your local library or to ask your librarian to order it for you as a professional development copy. Building students' historical literacy is something that gives you some how-tos.
Aren't you in the wrong bathroom? I was washing my hands in a Disney World bathroom. I was on vacation with my family in April of 2015. The bathroom was packed, but I knew the question was directed at me. I turned around to a mother with 2 little girls staring up at me. I stared back at them, not knowing what to say. My hands were still wet. I was so choked up that I couldn't speak. I quickly escaped to dry my hands and ran out of the women's bathroom. My family was waiting for me a little ways down from the restrooms. I felt the feeling come back to my feet. I felt the color come back to my face. I was too embarrassed to tell them what had happened, so I started conversing into the conversation they had already started.
So, you know, as the teacher leaders have evolved in both Fort Anne and Cambridge, describe the activities in your school or district that involve teacher leaders. What are the activities that you are doing right now as teacher leaders? Nicole?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened before. So in middle school and high school in Fort Anne, the teacher leaders are responsible for running the PLC meetings, which we have twice a month, one for the 6th through 8th grade and then one for the 9th through 12th grade. We take the lead on the topics of those meetings, and maybe we don't always come up with them by ourselves, but we certainly, you know, poll the audience and see what issues to be talked about, and if there are no pressing issues, then we generally go back to the data or strategies that we can use as a team to improve the instruction of ourselves for our students. We also lead professional development, so we're in charge of professional development days and facilitating those or coming up with ideas on what to do for professional development based on our district's needs.
Okay. And Hillary, is that similar to Cambridge?
Some of it's similar. We do a few different things that grew out of our group meeting.
I'm old enough to have lived most of my career before electronics, so I do a lot of paper, and obviously you can lose all kinds of things, but you can even lose it online as well. But you waste time if you can't find what you're looking for. It's a major time waster. I know we all do this occasionally, but when it happens with some regularity, you're probably feeling bad about things, and so the idea of trying to discipline yourself to do that is really important. Okay, we have a few 4s here too, and that's good. So Scotia. Let's try the 4th one. I prioritize tasks I have to do according to their importance and their urgency. All right, please put a 4 on this one. So 4, well, when you think about it, this at least brings us back to our important versus urgent.
I loved what Hal Melnick said. He said, if we want kids to really engage in STEM, then we need to give them the materials so that they can engage with these concepts, science, engineering, mathematics. And I loved how the blocks fit all of that with the experiments and the trial and error that the children were doing. A report that I just read that was so meaningful to me was preparing 21st century students for a global society. And in this report, they talk all about the 21st century skills. And they are all there, especially at blocks and dramatic play, for collaboration, for communication, creativity, and problem solving. So when I read this report, I knew that we are on the right path, bringing play back, or strengthening play in classrooms perhaps that didn't have